So hello and welcome to Budget Model Railways video. A big thank you to everybody that watched our last new video, our new lightweight videos. Much appreciated. It went down very well. Large number of viewers, so it's obviously going to work. So here we have another one. So what I thought I'd do today is just show some locos running, because I know people like that. You won't like it if you're one of those that believe that layouts should be set in a particular area and a particular location, because as everybody knows, that's not what I do. So I've got my rather nice Southern Terrier there. I've got my LNER J94 coming around there. And you've just seen my Daypole rail bus. Now, talking about my Daypole rail bus, it is running a little bit quick. I'll just slow it down a little, but I'm running it in. This is the kit that you can buy for about £10. And it's on a Lima centre cab freelance diesel chassis. I actually got one for about £6 or £7 quite a few years ago. They'll cost you a bit more than that now. But with a bit of jiggery pokery, they're quite a close fit. And it's a lot less than the £80 you're going to pay for a Helgen one. So you saw last time the platforms. It's worth pointing out these are made from, this was wood. And then when I wanted to do an extension, I just used mounting board. Metcalf card, grey cardboard off the back of an A4 pad to make concrete. The white edges from the Metcalf sheets. Then Metcalf paving slabs, Metcalf tarmac, and just a little super quick bit there to cover the join. And it makes a really effective looking platform that obviously mirrors that one. And I thought I'd give a bit more of a close-up. So that's the Daypole station building, and what I did was blanked in some of the windows because you wouldn't have a door there. And I have finished the footbridge now, repainted for the third time. A little bit of history for that. It's one of the first railway kits Doug ever made about 9 years ago, and it's been adapted and painted 3 times. And my painter is now upright and busy painting the bridge. So that makes really quite a nice little station area there now. I'm rather pleased with that. It reminds me of some of the junction stations I've seen pictures of. And obviously it's got the, if you like, the corporate finish with the cream and chocolate. And that's really where a lot of my ideas come from. I didn't really know anything about railways, had no interest in them. So everything I do is what I've seen in books, basically. And I like images, I've seen images, and then what I'm doing is recreating what I've seen, rather than any sort of nostalgia-driven, I must recreate that area. To me, it's just a model railway, and it should look like a model railway, which I think this does. And I've also started working on the level crossing. So that's the sort of Pico wheels crossing gates, but I had some of the wooden bits left over from a Daypole level crossing, so I've painted them up and put them on, blended in, hid the mounts for the gates just by using loose ballast. And I've got a bit of work to do then still on those. So the other big change then comes up this end, where I've started working on the hills. Now these, as before, are foam packaging, so it's much easier to cut than polystyrene. It isn't messy. This actually, I can't remember if it was a 3D printer or an airsoft rifle, but it's just packaging that comes in various goods. And you can just cut it up and do it like I have there in different layers, cut it with scissors and a Stanley knife, and shape it. And then what I'll do is I'll cover it with paper mache, just a thin coat, and then scatter and trees, and it's going to mirror this so that it runs through a bit of a wooded cutting. I've got a nice little Will's Barn kit that I might put on this side just to add to it. The bridge is gone. The bridge had an accident. Doug bumped his head and broke it. I think I may have mentioned last time that's my mum's main memory of my father's shed layout in the early 1960s. Even just before she passed away a few years ago, she was talking about banging her head coming through. So it skipped a generation with me, and Doug's done the same and banged his head. So there we go. So what I'll do now is I'll run some slightly different things. So a little bit of a sort of spoiler. So we've got the bridge, and then the plan at some point is to move this 3D printer, and then I'll put perhaps a little town scene through there for the layout to go into. The Fiddle Yard though will stay as it is because that works rather well. Big 4-road Fiddle Yard. So that's going to stay as it is, unscenic now. The sign over the back there was my late father's. He had it on his desk. He was in the motor trade. One of his staff made that sign up for him out of a number plate, and that used to live on his desk. A few other little projects while we're zooming in. So that's a Mahano 282, and that is a long-term aim to make that into a ON30 tank loco, like the East German ones. It's a lovely runner, so that's a kind of long-term project. Old project at Late Show, Lima, diesel there. So there's always a few projects scattered around. So I thought we'd do some video of the Deltic running. 3D orders there waiting to go out. Who doesn't like a Deltic? I think even if you're a steam buff, you've got to like a Deltic. Such an iconic loco, especially in the two-tone green. This I got very cheaply a couple of years ago. I think it cost me £20. It is missing its buffers. Somebody did kindly send me some, which I haven't got around to fitting yet. But it's one of those locos that's really appreciating these gentler curves and the long runs. And it's just got so smooth and quiet where it's been running through here. And I've just got some chocolate and cream coaches on the back of it. As I say, if you want to see exact consists and locos, then there's plenty of other channels. I just run what I like with what I like, which I have to say does seem to go down very well with an awful lot of our subscribers and viewers. You can take it all too seriously if you're not careful. So there we go, that's our Deltic. So here we are, is another iconic loco really, the Intercity 125. Again, I don't care what your interest is in railways, difficult not to be impressed by these and the difference they made to railways. I spent a lot of time on them in my youth, working in cadets and things. This is quite an unusual one. We got kindly given it as a non-runner. Doug worked his magic on it. Some of these seem to struggle to even pull one or two coaches, but we can have it pulling many more. This is pulling, actually it's pushing, because bizarrely this propels better than it pulls. So that's pushing 7 coaches. And I think any of us probably of a certain age, excuse me swinging around there, but let's get a long shot. You know, I've got a soft spot for the Intercity 125s. Looks rather good going down there through the station. And as I say, it doesn't bother me one jot that I've got an LNER steam loco going around in the background. Sorry, I know there's a lot of people going to get very upset, but I just enjoy watching trains go around. So while it's there, we'll actually give that a bit of a film. It's an interesting little loco, this one, because it actually is quite noisy in reverse, but it's a lovely, smooth, quiet runner. They're very good looking locos. I mean, sadly now, so I've caught my cable. Sadly now, the problem is you just can't get locos for a sensible price second hand. I haven't bought a loco now for a month or more, which is really unusual for me. The second-hand prices have just got really silly. So, and I've got far too many already. I found myself realising I've got a very large collection, so I don't actually need any more. And then we're going to go to the other end of the scale, which is the humble little 040. These are very much maligned, and you know I fight their corner. I really object to the term pocket rocket. For about the last 15 years, these have not been pocket rockets. Hornby re-geared them, and they're actually very useful little locos. They'll pull, this one's pulling 12. I've had them pulling more than that wagons. They'll do it down to a sensible speed. And the detailing on some of these is really nice. I don't agree with the prices that Hornby want for them now. I think given that they're a very old mould, etc., that £50, nearly £60 for the current one of these in Great Western livery is a lot of money. They are very nice locos. I do think they ought to be £10, £15 cheaper. If the German Pico company can do it, I'm sure Hornby could. I certainly wouldn't pay some of the silly second-hand prices. You can still pick these up for around the £20 mark. I certainly wouldn't pay the £30 or £40 that some people are asking for them. And as I say, that one is happily pulling 12 wagons there. No trouble at all. It will pull more, but you get a little bit of wheel slip at the beginning. So there we go, that's the other end of the scale. The rather excellent little 040s. And now something rather smart. So this is the Hornby B12 in LNER apple green with full lining. This is one of the versions that has the chuff chuff sound in the tender. This was semi-broken and sounded awful, so I'm afraid 30 seconds with a pair of pliers solved that one. But it is a very nice running locomotive. Sorry about the light, I do know how to do something about it, I just forgot to do it. But an incredibly handsome loco. I've also got one of the rarer blue ones. This again I got last year, sneaked in for about £25. You'll pay about 40 plus for them now. It is one of those locos I just can't understand why Hornby don't leave in the range around the £60 mark, 65, £70 mark in the railroad range, and I'm sure it would sell very well. Sadly, if Hornby did it now, they'd put a sound chip in it and it'd be 150. But if you can get one, lovely locos. And they're my favourite blood and custard coaches there. Had them a long while, very smooth, quiet runners. Going through the soon-to-be hill. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed a little bit on the update of the scenery. Possibly by the next time I'll have some hills done. My plan is to try and do a video a week. Now we've got this new way of doing them and I can upload them myself. My plan is to try and get back to doing a video a week, which I think would be nice for everybody. And I'll try and do some more how-to making videos, as well as trains running. Because although a lot of my videos are all about making layouts, now I've got my layouts, this part at least, largely done. I do spend quite a lot of time running trains, which is really, why we do it. I like the modelling as well. And obviously I've still got a huge amount to do in the HO area through here at some point. So that'll be an ongoing project. So there we go. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll speak to you again soon.